Pointing to a piece of machinery, Michael asked, "What is this?" "That bit of equipment," Gabriel responded, "renders any movable object collision-proof. The design is a combination of laser and sound wave technology effective on anything from automobiles to jumbo jets." Michael thought of his friend still in the hospital who would have benefited from such a machine. He ran his fingers through his hair and asked, "If you won't tell me what this place is, and you won't say why I'm here, then let me ask you a different question." Gabriel nodded. "Why are all these things here?" Brushing his hand over one of the many vacuum cleaners as they were walking by, Gabriel appeared deep in thought. "What is the difference in people, Michael Holder," the angel began, "when they hit despair? Why does one person give up on life while another moves on to greatness?" "That didn't really answer my question," Michael replied, "but I'm not sure. I've never really thought about it." Gabriel turned, still walking, with a mildly amused look on his face. "Think about it now," he said. Michael shrugged. "I don't know. Maybe a difference in circumstances." "Circumstances are rulers of the weak," Gabriel said, "but they are weapons of the wise. Must you be torn by every situation you encounter?" Michael frowned as the angel pressed on. "That is a question, Michael Holder. Are your emotions and strength controlled by circumstances?" "No, they are not," Michael said firmly. "That is correct," Gabriel nodded. "Circumstances do not push or pull. They are daily lessons to be studied for new knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge and wisdom that is applied will bring out a brighter tomorrow. A frustrated person is spending too much time thinking about how things are now, and not enough time about how he wants things to be." Michael thought for a minute and swung his arms toward an area filled with mattresses. "So why are all of these things here?" Gabriel glanced up at his confused pupil briefly and said, "Circumstances." Michael sighed loudly. Gabriel laughed and said, "Walk this way, Michael Holder." Michael followed the angel down an aisle lined with telephones on one side and lumber on the other. Soon they were back to Michael's starting place, the area with the photographs of children. "Have I seen it all?" Michael asked. "You've seen only a tiny fraction of this facility," Gabriel answered. "A lifetime of wondering would not cover it all, and sadly it gets bigger every day." Michael stopped near the baskets of loose pictures. Reaching it, he removed the one Gabriel had placed there earlier, the one with the two children Michael had found so familiar. "The boy's name is Patrick," Gabriel said quietly. "This girl is Natalie." Still looking at the photo, Michael remarked, "That's funny. My mom always said if I was a girl they were going to name me Natalie. I can remember my parents talking about having another child, but they couldn't afford it. I always wanted a brother or—" Michael stopped abruptly. "But you already knew that, didn't you?" "Yes," Gabriel answered. "Why is this happening to me?" Michael asked. Gabriel's eyes narrowed. "Explain yourself more clearly, please. Why am I seeing this now?" "Special dispensation is allowed for a traveler to gain greater wisdom and understanding." "I don't understand." "Obviously." Michael took a deep breath. "Am I supposed to somehow understand?" "Everything will become clear to you." As Michael continued to look all around him, trying to absorb everything the angel had said, his attention strayed toward a single small pedestal that was illuminated by bright light. On the pedestal was a stack of papers not even a quarter of an inch high. "Hey, where is the light coming from?" he asked. Gabriel only smiled. Michael moved closer. "May I touch this?" "Certainly," Gabriel responded. There were 40 or 50 sheets of paper, some newer, some yellowed with age, in the pile. Michael flipped through the papers and saw mathematical equations, blueprints, and one with only one word in the middle. He turned to Gabriel. "What are these?" "One of them," Gabriel said, "is plans for a machine that will regenerate the optic nerve, allowing even those who are blind from birth to see." He paused and looked straight into Michael's eyes. "Page 9 is the cure for lung cancer." Michael was stunned. "Am I supposed to take these?" "No," Gabriel said. Angry and confused, Michael sputtered. "Then why—" He couldn't find the words. Michael slammed the papers down on the pedestal and ignored the crack in his voice as he said so too loudly. "What is going on? All of these things, these cures. My dad is in the hospital with lung cancer. Did you know that?" "Yes." This was more than Michael could stand. "What kind of cruel joke is this?" he shouted. "Are you telling me that my father might be dying, and you have the cure for him right here, and you aren't going to do anything about it?" Pain and sadness and frustration seemed to rise out of his soul at that very moment. He collapsed on the ground and wept bitterly. He cried for his mom and dad. He missed them. Would he ever see them again? Did he deserve to? He cried for the people he had let down in his life, his parents, his friends, his teacher, and he cried for himself. Tears still flowing down his face, Michael looked up at Gabriel and asked, Please help me understand. Please tell me, what is this place? Gabriel took a step closer to Michael and swept out his arms as if to present an honored guest. This, my friend, is the place that never was. This is the place where we keep all the things that were about to be delivered just as a person stopped working and praying for them. This warehouse is filled with the dreams and goals of the less courageous. Michael was horrified. He looked up and down the aisle at the coats and shoes, bicycles and blankets, the cures and designs on the pedestal. How many hopes and dreams that were never realized. Michael thought of the countless times he had longed for something, hoped for something, and then had just given up, either on himself or on someone else. How many times he had been too lazy or too easily discouraged. What opportunities had he already missed? What could have belonged to him in this room that he never would have now? Remembering the picture of the brother and sister he would never know, Michael asked, "May I at least keep the picture?" "I'm sorry," the angel said. "The Patrick and Natalie do not exist. The time for their arrival has passed. The opportunity is missed. There are no second chances." After sitting quietly for a while, his head resting on his knees, Michael finally looked up and asked in a weak voice, "What am I supposed to learn here?" Gabriel smiled and sat down beside Michael on the floor. "You must know," he began, "that in the game of life, the tragedy is not that a man loses, but that he almost wins." Michael shook his head slowly. Why does anyone give up?" Gabriel responded instantly. "As a human, you detour and give up because you lack understanding. You quit because you lack faith. Understanding about what? For one thing, you do not understand that constant detours do not bring a man into the presence of greatness. Between you and anything significant will be giants in your path. Most slow down when the road appears treacherous, but these are the times when you should feel the weight of your future on your shoulders. Times of calamity and distress have always been producers of the greatest men." For a while Michael was silent, deep in thought. Then, after locking away the angel's words, he said, "Gabriel, you also mentioned that I lacked faith. What did you mean by that?" "I meant your race, the human race. With only a few expectations, you lack the faith that produces greatness." Gabriel smiled. "It is not always so. Your civilization was once alive, vibrant, productive, and born in glory. Now look at you, a wandering, questioning pack of rebels, teetering on the brink of dissolution." "What?" Michael could not believe his ears. "We are living in the most advanced age the planet has ever seen." Gabriel shook his head sadly. "You truly have no memory or knowledge of your history. There once existed culture on Earth so highly evolved as to make you look like dull children. Their mathematics, engineering, and architecture was far beyond what you have today. These were people of great understanding, great wisdom, and an even greater faith." "Why have we never heard of these people?" Michael asked doubtfully. "Because most of your scientists work within a parameter of time that is far too narrow. A few of them, however, have begun to suspect that the society predated the Aztecs and Incas by more than 30,000 of your years. Your civilization is just now arriving at the point of recognizing the scant clues still left of their existence." "What clues?" Gabriel paused for a moment, then said, "The engineering of Hewn temples still standing in what you call South America used stones that weigh more than 100 tons each. The builders of Baalbek and Lebanon laid cornerstones as tall as your 5-story buildings. They weigh more than 600 tons apiece. In both places, and many more I might add, the blocks were quarried and set together so perfectly that grout was never considered necessary. Just to cut stone to the same specifications, your engineers today require diamond-tipped, laser-guided quarry saws. And still, they can't duplicate the dimensions. And that is just the beginning. Their knowledge of astronomy also far exceeded your current levels. They know the exact circumference of the Earth and charted into systems of measure around the world. This is now evident in surviving buildings in South America and Europe because they incorporated the figures into their architecture. You were able to obtain these exact mathematical values only after Sputnik circled the Earth in 1957. Truth needs no evidence, of course, Gabriel smiled, but since you were curious, that should give you something to consider. Michael tried to comprehend the existence of such a culture. "Why are they gone?" he asked. "For the same reasons that your civilization is in trouble," Gabriel said carefully. "Arrogance, ungratefulness, and a loss of faith. Your people have reached the edge of the same cliff in an astonishingly short time. Is there anything we can do to change? Of course, Gabriel said, and that is precisely why you are here. Gabriel stood and helped Michael to his feet. Reaching into the folds of his robe, the angel withdrew a small scroll. He extended it to Michael and said, "This decision is the final portion of the whole. Take it." As Michael took the scroll in his hand, Gabriel frowned. "I am not certain why you were selected for this great honor, Michael Holder, for I am but a messenger." He paused. "You are the last traveler. There will not be another. You have been given a gift that has the power to change your civilization. Everything from this moment on will depend upon you. You will study one decision at a time, each for 21 days. You will read it aloud twice daily during that time, first upon wakening and again at the last thing you do before sleep. You must not miss a day. Each decision will become part of you, buried in your heart, captured in your soul. You will share the gift of the decisions with others. Those who absorb and apply this wisdom will rise to greatness and inspire others to the same heights." Gabriel placed his hands on each side of Michael's face. "You have everything you need, Michael Holder. You know that you are not alone. You are being guided. There will never be a reason to lose faith. The future is yours, but be warned. Yours is a future as you choose it. Our Creator has granted you the extraordinary power of the wisdom contained in the 7 decisions, but He also grants you free will. Should you choose to ignore this power, the future will be lost forever. You will be granted one more journey, Michael Holder. It is a rare gift indeed. You have come to this place and seen all the things that never were, and now you will have the chance to see what might be. But be warned, it is only a hope, only a possibility. The choices you make from this moment forward will shape and define your future. You have the power to make things happen. You have the ability to change the world, Michael Holder, if you so choose." Michael took Gabriel's hands in his own and said, "Thank you. I will make the very most of this gift." "Yes, Michael Holder," he said, "I believe that you will." And with those words he slowly stretched his wings over his head, and a thunderous rush of wind flew up and was gone. For a few moments Michael stood there, watching and thinking. Then slowly he began a purposeful walk. He glanced around to memorize this place and what it meant. Then he eased down onto the floor and unrolled the scroll of Gabriel. The 7th decision for success. I will persist without expectation. Knowing that I have already made changes in my life that will last forever, today I insert the final piece of the puzzle. I possess the greatest power ever bestowed upon humankind, the power of choice. Today I choose to persist without expectation. No longer will I be distracted, my focus blowing with the wind. I know the outcome I want. I will hold fast to my dreams. I will stay the course. I do not quit. I will persist without expectation. I will continue despite exhaustion. I know that most people quit when exhaustion sets in. I am not most people. I am stronger than most people. Average people give in to exhaustion. I do not. Average people compare themselves with other people. That is why they are average. I compare myself to my potential. I am not average. I see exhaustion as a precursor to victory. I will persist without expectation. I will focus on results. To achieve the results I desire, it is not even necessary that I enjoy the process. It is only important that I continue the process with my eye on the outcome. An athlete does not enjoy the path of training. An athlete enjoys the results of being trained. I will persist without expectation. I am a person of great faith. And Jeremiah, my Creator, declares, "I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." From this day forward, I will have faith in my future. I will believe in the future that I do not see. That is faith, and the reward of this faith is to one day see the future that I believed in. I will continue despite exhaustion. I will focus on results. I am a person of great faith. I will persist without expectation.